Hello, everybody. I'm Adam, and I'm on the client service team at QWASI, and I lead our clients in the sports and higher education sectors. And I'm joined with my coworker, Lauren, who works on the client experience and marketing side of QWASI. And we are hosting this sports summit to talk about how athletes and mobile technology are being leveraged to innovate and change the game for fans, athletes, and universities. And so welcome, Kara. Thank you so much for joining us today. We at QWASI have been so excited to work with you to explore new opportunities for universities. And for those that do not know, we have worked with Fordham for nearly 10 years to enable sports fan innovation and have worked with Kara's team in particular around development to help drive engagement with the broader Fordham community. We have pursued innovation in athletics as well as the Giving Day 2021 event broke the Fordham Giving Day by over 2,780 donors, which is incredible. And so, Kara, we are excited to have you share more about Giving Days, but also more about your work on athlete and fan engagement across the Fordham community.
Thanks for joining us today. So just real quick, you have a very strong background from Fordham perspective, and from a Fordham perspective, both as a former athlete and now leading athletic development. So if you don't mind sharing a little bit about yourself and the transition from being an athlete to your role as a leader in driving development and engaging the Fordham community.
Sure. Well, first and foremost, Adam and Lauren, thank you for having me. Really appreciate this opportunity. But yes, I actually am a former Ram myself. I was a student athlete. I was on the swim team for Fordham during my undergraduate years, and very, very blessed that I was able to have that opportunity during that time. Obviously, as all athletes would agree on this, you get to explore and get to know other teammates as well. So I was really fortunate just getting to know a lot of teams, baseball, football, women's soccer, you name it. And it was a very fun-filled and very tight-knit family that is pretty much the core of the Fordham culture itself. I was actively involved with our SAC and leadership programs. So that helped me gain a lot of really great relationships with our administrators as an undergrad. When I graduated in 2014, I had a very short stint with the New York Athletic Club in their marketing department. And during that time, our former athletic director, Dave Roach, actually asked me to be a part of this young alumni committee where they were trying to actively recruit alums who really felt this strong affinity to Fordham, loved their experience, was already giving back in some sort of capacity, whether it was a mentorship role, obviously philanthropy in that sense. But during an event at the New York Athletic Club that I hosted, he pulled me aside and asked if I would come back to Fordham in a development role. Now, I did not know what development meant. I thought it was literally developing athletes. I was wrong. So truthfully, when I had those conversations about fundraising, it seemed so daunting to me. I didn't know if I would feel comfortable getting in front of donors, asking them to give their own personal money back to Fordham. But then the more I got more comfortable in my role, the more I realized I was just like these donors that I'm having conversations with, where it's very much like sales. And I'm sure a lot of us can understand that role in a sense of if you believe the product that you're selling, that ask seems to be that much more easy, where you believe in it, you're selling it, it's very genuine. So I really do have to give credit to my Fordham experience in that sense of already having that Fordham family culture embedded in me, where it is making those conversations that much easier. I now have, we have a new athletic director, Ed Cole, who is also my boss for the last 3 years. I understand the culture that he wants to bring to the table for Fordham athletics, where he would love to elevate the programs and get them to where a place we should be. And I am in full support of doing whatever I have to in terms of getting in front of alumni, networking, and continuing to explore and broaden that culture to be able to reach those goals with him.
That's awesome. I mean, based on what I know about you and what I've read and all your accomplishments, I mean, you seem to fit the mold perfectly for that. So I, look forward to learning more about it and, continuing with these projects. And so, during this past year, you had to deal with the unknowns and hurdles of COVID. So how did that change your work and the fan experience at Fordham?
It was tough. I mean, I'm sure everybody can go, about their own way of saying how it was and their own personal perspective of how hard COVID was. It was tough for us in the sense of we were very much used to seeing our alums at every single game, at events. We were used to working 6-7 day work weeks because we would be on campus so much, being there for alumni days, being there for championship games, and all of that was ripped from us for, over a year. So it was a pretty hard transition to try and figure out how are we going to keep all of our alums, fans, everyone engaged when there's nothing, quote, to show for. There are no wins, there are no losses. Our last win that we had on record was our men's basketball team at an A10 tournament, and that got quickly shut down because of COVID. So it was pretty tough in a sense of trying to re-explore a new message and new meaning behind what we stood for, and trying to make sure that everybody was in some sense on the same page. So we did reach out to a lot of our alums to ask for their own personal stories. We had a women's basketball campaign. It was our 50th anniversary, ironically, during this pandemic, where we did different Zooms with every single decade, where we had the Rams of the 70s, we had the women of the 90s and 2000s that came forward, actually interviewed with current players. So it was kind of bridging the old with the new, in a sense, not, trying to say anybody's old in that way by any means.
Yeah.
But it was engaging in a sense where you're a part of this Fordham family, whether you're a current student or not, whether you're a parent or not, donor, whatever. And it was great to just kind of step back and kind of just like relearn the learning blocks in that sense. And along the same lines, giving days, give campus campaigns. So from our biggest giving days to our smallest give campus campaigns, it was learning to re-engage in terms of text messaging, social media, emails, because everybody is getting bombarded with emails from work when you're working from home. So how can we kind of reach out to these alums and kind of make it a very healthy relationship, where the best example would be, you don't want to be that crazy ex that is continuously reaching out where somebody sees it and they want to put their phone away. You want to kind of be that healthy relationship where you get a text or a notification and they smile at it. So it's kind of still trying to figure out what that is, but we have a better idea now moving forward, and hopefully now seeing everybody in person.
I know, and it's, causing or allowing people to think outside the box a little bit, right? And how they can engage, and maybe not any way that you would have done if we hadn't been presented with these issues. But I know it's definitely been an interesting journey and path for a lot of people. So and despite the challenges over the past year, you guys still saw record-breaking numbers for Fordham Giving Day. And from a giving perspective, how do you think mobile communication and technology will continue to enable your work?
Sure. So when I first came on back in 2016, I want to say, I just had my 5-year anniversary, so I should know that. So back in 2016, we just launched these giving days with the athletic component, and it was very grassroots. Originally back then, it was a lot of email and social media pushes. And then we started seeing this transition of, okay, other industries are starting to incorporate more texting. Even just getting those notifications for shopping, where it's, here's a quick hot sale coming up. We started learning, we can be that. We just have to figure out how. So when we finally went into the mobile communications perspective for this past giving day, obviously we have our emails, we have our social media outputs, but that text message that goes directly to the link, where it's so easy because everybody is living on their phones regardless. Pretty much a lot of our folks already have their credit cards even saved, truthfully, in their phones to begin with. So it's an easier transaction. So I think the follow-up message of the quick, hey, we're 50% to our goal, or we're 75% there, it kind of incentivizes a lot of our folks that if you already did give, or if you haven't given, everybody's kind of on the same page. So the texting really did help. I think it helps with us just collecting updated contact information. And truthfully, it's going to be the future of looking back in 2016, 17. It was very much email, social media. Now it is still email, but like I said earlier, you don't want to bombard people with emails. How can we create a healthy relationship that when you see a text to give, you're not thinking, oh my gosh, they're asking me to give yet another donation. It's a better feeling behind it. So I think with these past results, it was amazing during a pandemic. We're all extremely proud of Fordham for what we were able to accomplish, but we know that that's just the beginning. And I think texting is really going to be key and helpful for us for this next fiscal year.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's so interesting. And we hope that you expect to see more record-breaking numbers for future giving days.
So do we, Adam.
But I know you mentioned, like, what I wanted to ask is, I know you mentioned that there's like a Fordham Giving Day for the campus as a whole, but then also smaller campaigns for maybe like the athletics program. Is there any like specific strategies or ways that you try and promote the athletics programs, like when there is that large scale giving day?
Yeah, so essentially for us, giving, there's two big campaigns for athletics. There's the Fordham Giving Day, and we also do our own campaign for Giving Tuesday. So in Giving Tuesday, the rest of the university does not go, quote, hard on soliciting for gifts as much as athletics does.
Yeah.
So we're able to create individualized videos for every single sport. Each sport has their own personal goal, whether that's a dollar amount or a goal amount, and there's a tangible gift or a tangible item attached to our goal. So best way to describe it is if you want to give to the baseball program, their goal is $10,000. When we raise the $10,000, we're going to be able to purchase a new piece of equipment that will help improve their batting averages. It's something that a donor can relate to, and they actually know that when they give, their money is going towards this specific item. So it's a little bit more niche in that sense compared to other larger campaigns where it's a little bit more broad. So for that Giving Tuesday, we did individualized text. It's, that's kind of like a bigger one, but even our smaller ones, like what I mentioned, women's basketball, for that 50th anniversary, we did have a little short women's basketball season where we were able to try and incorporate, hey, the Rams just had a great win. Make sure you give to the women's basketball 50th anniversary campaign. It's always like a quick, fun, hot topic in terms of let's capitalize off of a great win and show your support to the Rams.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, that's super interesting. And so I know yesterday I was extremely fortunate enough to get a tour of all the athletics facilities. And I was just curious if there's any upcoming projects or developments that you're excited about.
Yes. So not really sure how much information I can still share right now because a lot of it is still being finalized. But there is a brand new capital project going on in the McKinley Center. So that's kind of our core center for all of our students. That's the house of our cafeteria, house of a lot of our larger event spaces, if you will. That's also connection to our Lombardi and Rose Hill gym. So there are different areas that we're looking to kind of elevate and renovate. One of them is our new varsity weight room that we're hoping to get going on in 2023, 2024. That will be a huge expansion. We'll include some turf, a refueling station. There's a lot of fun areas that we're finally tapping into to just elevate it for Fordham Athletics. Another one we're looking into is the boathouse property that was generously donated by one of our supporters, and that would benefit our sailing and rowing programs. So hopefully construction will be undergoing within the next couple of months on that. But otherwise, it's a lot of uplifting things. So we just finished the Frank McLaughlin basketball court project. The basketball gym in the Rose Hill gym has just been completely resurfaced. Excuse me. So that was great to see and actually have completed. And the football offices, we just wrapped up that campaign as well. We have brand new football offices for our entire coaching staff. So that actually has allowed for all of our players and coaches to finally find an environment that is big enough to accompany the football team and the program in that sense. So there's a lot of uplifting areas in terms of capital campaigns that have either gotten completed or in the works of it. And then, additionally to that, it's not so much of a tangible piece, but we're doing a lot of DEI initiatives. So especially with everything going on in athletics and in this entire world, essentially, we felt it was really essential and necessary to provide additional support and programs for student athletes and faculty and staff. So that's an additional area that we're looking to invest in.
Yeah, and with all the construction and renovation happening, like on campus, like how do you see QWASI and mobile technology like assisting throughout all of that?
We would love for a lot of scanning to be done, if possible, a lot of QR codes. And by now from COVID, I think everybody should know what a QR code is, probably from scanning it at a restaurant itself. So we would love to see, the QR code stations at different areas upon entry for if you're coming to a basketball game or if you're coming onto campus to kind of pull up a virtual map. This is where you are. This is how we can get you there. For if you're coming to a game, oh my gosh, I forgot to purchase my tickets, pull up an app. I'm going to purchase my tickets right here and now. Even thinking about we're having our Hall of Fame event coming up in October, and the Hall of Fame hall actually is going to be one of those areas that may be touched during this whole construction, and just kind of learning like how can we elevate it. If there's a scan piece for every little plaque, pulls up the profile of that inductee. It's just working with what we have right now, but taking it to the next level.
Everything you've touched on is extremely impressive. I know QWASI would love to be able to support you guys on any future projects and definitely enhance, elevate those experiences for the fans, and make it memorable and engaging. So I also know that you guys have a new men's basketball coach.
Yes.
So any predictions for next season?
We're first and foremost, we are so happy to have Kyle. It has been such a whirlwind of, and I'm speaking as an alum right now, we know what the men's basketball program is capable of doing. And now the entire Fordham community is starting to feel that change. And it is so amazing and exhilarating at the same time. And I'm not just trying to sell it. It's very genuine.
Yeah.
And it's for Kyle, first and foremost, getting his feet wet. He has the New York roots. He coached with Jay Wright at Villanova. He knows what it takes. He knows the hard work ethic. I think we can expect a lot of great things from him. I think we also have to give him some time to still kind of figure out his team, his roster, everything of that nature. But we hired him for a reason. He was the perfect fit. I think we're going to see some great things in the next year or two from Kyle for sure.
That's super exciting. We'll keep an eye out and look forward to that. So we don't want to keep you for any longer, take up any more of your time. We really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today and let us get to know you a little better and share on your projects with Fordham and what they have going on. So we look forward to future collaborations, and we've really enjoyed working with you all so far. So
thank you both. I appreciate this. And we will definitely be in touch too about all those projects moving forward.
For sure.
Great. Well, thanks again, Kara.
Thank you, Adam and Lauren.
Thank you.
We'll talk soon. Take care. Bye.